Welcome back to the Azure Talk Show, where real life happens, what you say matters. Today I'll be speaking with Russ Parr from the Russ Parr Morning Show and Sheila Stewart from 104.1. Our next guest is a wife, new mom, host to many volunteer projects, and member of the AKA sorority. Please welcome Miss Sheila Stewart from 104.1.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to say to you that you are a joy.
Thank you.
You are beautiful. But I'm on camera with Azure. I love it. Can we say hi?
So what age did you know you wanted to be in the entertainment industry?
I knew at the age of 7. My grandmother prophetically shared some things with me in reference to radio, TV, and media, and broadcasting and communications. She saw things in me that I didn't see in myself, obviously, at the age of 7. Just thinking about communications.
Yeah.
But she was prophetic with me in her vision, and it has all come to pass.
What has been one of your most memorable moments in your career?
In my career, I would say there's several. One would be when I first went to the White House, went in the National Association of Broadcasters Crystal Award, which is like the Grammys of radio or TV. It's like an Oscar. And I won it for Station for Outstanding Community Service. That was a very special moment. A second great moment would be when I was honored by the FBI as their community service winner nationally for raising money for a missing young girl whom they never found. But they honored me for community service. I've known my life to be on assignment and to be of service to others. I consider myself a messenger of servanthood for change and to empower and to uplift. And I recognized many years ago that my job was bigger than just being on radio or being on TV. There was more to it than that.
That's powerful. So how do you deal with all the challenges in the industry?
Lots of prayer, because it is a very cutthroat profession, sadly. However, life is not fair sometimes. That's how in any profession it can be that way. I pray. I ask God to bridle my tongue when I feel as if I'm getting extremely angry. I ask Him to girth me with just to order my steps and to reveal things, show things to me that I can't see in the natural eye, but supernaturally reveal them to me. He always does. And because of that, I'm able to handle opposition and I guess the adversary, if you will.
Right.
Which there are a lot of people, again, a lot of evil in our world. However, with my personality and love for people, and when I say I genuinely love people, I do. I don't have as many challenges as I've had in the past in my daily profession, because people accept me for who I am, and I accept them for who they are. Not this overly Christian woman. I never walk around with a Bible and you're gonna go to hell if you don't, or you're gonna be mean to me today, you're gonna go to hell. I don't believe in that. I believe in treating everybody with love and respect, and I get back how I treat them. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Are there any encouraging words you can give to teens who want to be in your position?
I would say be prayerful, be persistent, be positive, you have to encourage yourself, and hard work, and follow through and due diligence. Those are key ingredients for success, for me.
Okay, once again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Azure Talk Show. And don't remember to follow me on Twitter at the Azure Talk Show and on my Facebook. He is a husband, father, community advocate, owns his own production company, Up to Par Productions. He is Russ Parr from the Russ Parr Morning Show. So what are some encouraging words you can give teens who want to be in the industry you're in?
I think the big thing is that be versatile. I think when I kind of came up through the ranks, I was a radio personality. I had my own record company. I was an actor.
Wow.
I wrote. I was willing to go get coffee. I was willing to, I worked at ABC TV where I worked on all these shows and watched Ask Questions. Ask questions. Well, what does that camera do? And why are you putting this lens on? Take all that stuff, because I hire people that show. I hire most of these people that are on my radio program were interns.
Okay. And
these are the people that showed that they wanted to work. The people that I gotta get you coffee again. I don't mess with them. So that's a test. Yeah. That's a test. It has nothing to do with what I'm trying to learn. Yeah, you should learn I like a white chocolate mocha. But, I don't do that to be rude or disrespectful, but you find out people's their work ethic.
Right.
I think a lot of people don't realize that they lose jobs when they first walk in. You're going to be fine because your smile is worth a lot of money. You don't have to tell you to smile. A lot of people, when I have to tell you to smile, if I have to tell you, hey, your disposition is kind of negative, you can't come in here and fake it for 4 hours.
Right.
You know, because a lot of people are vibe people. They feel a negative vibe, you're out the game.
Right.
You know, and that's the best thing I can tell people. Be willing to do any and everything within reason. Don't compromise yourself.
Right.
You know, especially young ladies in this business, they get themselves in a position where they feel like, okay, or I can use my charm and this and that to get where I need to go. Don't ever compromise yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you get yourself into that position, then what happens is that you get a rep, and it's a small business. Oh, so and so, yeah, she used to date the general sales manager, and now she's got her own station and this and that. You don't want to get it that way. You want to get it based on your merit, and that's the bottom line. It's just do any and everything, and do everything that there is to do. Don't just say, I'm just going to be a radio personality. Say, no, I'm going to do TV. I'm going to do film. So that way, when one thing is not working out, you can fall back on the other.
Tell me how you do it all. You're a very prominent radio personality. You have your own production company. How do you manage it all?
Well, you know, I think for me is, you know, you got to have some good people around you, and you know, I have a producer who produces most of my movies, and we got together and started Results Production and Post, which is based out of Wilmington, North Carolina. So I really don't have to watch that. It's his job to watch it. I just watch him when he starts stealing money from me, which, you know, everybody does every once in a while. As long as he puts it back, that's all that matters. But it's just impossible to try to do everything that I'm doing without having some really strong people like my producer, Carol Lewis, who handles a lot of the little everyday things that, you know, I'll forget about because otherwise I'll lose my mind between trying to remember all the things that I have to do. So it's just a matter of having good people that you trust.
Right. So have you always known you wanted to be in the entertainment industry?
You know, I think my mom saw it like early on when I was young. I remember we were at Castle Air Force Base, and they used to have these wall heaters where they had the vents at the top and you turn on the heat at the bottom, you know. And I used to sing and act into it, and it would echo your voice a little bit. And because, you know, we're always traveling, we didn't make many friends. So we always wound up, my brother and my sister, we always wound up entertaining ourselves. So it was always like, you know, we'd have shows. We'd do TV shows and comedy. And I remember my brother sneaking Richard Pryor records into the house. And those things kind of really influenced me. And said, you know, I really love doing this. And so I think that's where the entertainment aspect was born for me.
Okay, what was one of your big shows you've done?
Wow, as far as TV or film?
Yeah, TV and film.
Well, I think one of the first shows that I did on TV was a show called Rockin' America, which was a video comedy show. And what we would do is we would play, you know, rock music, you know, rock videos in between comedy sketches. And we did that years and years ago. And I was kind of like a sidekick, you know. But I was able to play a lot of different characters. I mean, I played a Black Spock from Star Trek one time. I played Magic Johnson. I played a genie. There was a lot of things that it allowed me to do. And I didn't realize I had the ability to play so many different roles. So when you're thrust into that position, you either have to act or you get fired. So that show ran on NBC. Used to come on after Saturday Night Live for many years.
So speaking of films, you have some upcoming movies. Now, can you tell us about that more?
Yeah, I have a movie that's getting a lot of some interesting comments called The Under Shepherd. And this movie that I officially announced today that pastors don't like it. I had some pastors in my house, and we're actually very prominent pastors, and they hated it. They hated the movie. As a matter of fact, I mean, people were literally screaming at me in my house, which was like, okay, what happens if you punch a pastor? But you know, it was cool because it evoked that kind of emotion. I think in hindsight, you know, I sat there and took it, and then finally, you know, I crushed a few of them. But I think the thing is that when you see yourself You know, when you see yourself on film, you know, that's when, you know, you're a little bit more sensitive to it. And, you know, they're just crushing the film. It's over the top, and that never happens in the church, and so on and so forth. But what I found interesting is that the women of the church that were at my house, they were defending the film, you know, and they were like, no, that does happen. Yeah, I mean, and I've seen that happen. Yeah. And, oh, you're going way over the top. I said, well, it's a fictitious movie. It's not real. It's just a story that might pattern after some things that you have seen. But if it were a documentary, I could see their point. But this movie, The Under Shepherd, starring Isaiah Washington, is going to probably stir up a lot of emotion. I was being accused of, you know, trying to capitalize on the black church and making money off it. I'm like, hey, man, if you know Hollywood, chances on me making money off this movie is going to be slim and none. But I'm going to try, because that's why you get in business, is to make money. But he said, oh, you're going to leave all this collateral damage. You're going to walk away, and everybody's going to be hating the church. I'm like, I'm sorry. But, you know, some of you guys are responsible for what the state of the church is. Right. And for me to bring up some of the issues in the church, it's time for a dialogue. And I think that's the only way we're going to heal, you know, with the dialogue.
I mean, there were so many messages in that movie that, I mean, I love the movie.
Oh, thank you.
So what is some messages that you wanted to really portray in that movie?
And that's one of the things they asked me, but they, you did it in a much nicer way. They're like, what was your point? What were you trying to prove? My point of the movie was worship God, not man.
Right.
Because it just bothered me that there are so many people that are impressionable and easily swayed, that they make every decision based on what the pastor says and how to guide them. And you know, life decisions. And I'm thinking, come on. This guy isn't any closer to God than you are. Right. And some of these pastors, not all, will take their position of power and manipulate people. And it just bothered me, you know, to the point you're taking these people's money and you're not teaching them the word. Right. You know, you're trying to line your pockets. Like I said, that's not all pastors, just a few.